Hello, welcome back to my channel. It is Amanda. Today I'm going to do a video about a brand that is no longer around. They've been closed for 9 years at this point, but I feel like it was a really beloved indie brand when it was open, and I was going through my Hallmark drawers and I thought maybe this is how I will re-swatch some of these older indies and kind of just do videos kind of reminiscing about them, because there are a lot of brands that have closed. I mean, there's still a lot of really great indie brands, but there are a lot of brands that have closed over the years, and this was one that I really enjoyed, and that is the brand Cult Nails. I can't find a ton about the brand, like their blog is no longer operational. Also, I tore my hands at the gym this week, so if you see band-aids on my hands, that's why, but I just needed a band-aid. So my poor little skin flappy can heal. Anyway, I've found some stuff on Beautylish about Cult Nails as well. Were they ever sold on Beautylish? I have no idea. I don't really shop on Beautylish that much. Do they just have a beauty blog? I have no idea. This was published in June of 2013, and it talks about the brand. I'll link this actual blog post to you if you want to read the whole thing. You can. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but this is where I'm getting a lot of information from. So Cult Nails was started by Maria Morrison, and her brand launched in Cocoa Beach, Florida. And it looks like this is an interview with Maria Morrison, the owner of Cult Nails. And it says, how did Cult Nails come to be? About 5 years ago, so 2008, if this was published in 2013. She started writing a business plan to open a salon when her husband was sent to Greenland. He was in the Air Force. As she was planning her salon business, she started reading blogs and came across a bunch of nail blogs, and it just kind of drew her in and fascinated her. And the whole blogging world was very new to her, so she decided to start a blog to kind of just see what it is, and it kind of just took off. She would mix her own colors and post them and see what people liked, and eventually that led to starting her own nail polish line. Cult Nails was officially in business from 2011, and I believe they closed in 2015. So they were open for 4 years, and as far as I'm aware, they were successful in those 4 years. I don't believe they closed because they weren't successful. They were just doing other things. So Cult Nails was officially started in 2011, and then the other thing that I found about when they were closing was in 2015, which is already 9 years ago, which seems crazy because in my mind it was like a year ago. You know, it seems wild. I never owned every Cult Nails nail polish. They certainly had creams, but the big draw for me for Cult Nails was their glitters and their specialty finishes, like their flakies and jellies, and they were just spectacular, and that's what really drew me to the brand. I did have a few creams, but I think over the years I have destashed those, but I have not been able to part with these 6 polishes. I went to swatch one of them the other day, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna swatch all of them because then I can make a video about it. So the first polish is called Hypnotize Me. This is an ice green sheer jelly packed with vibrant blue and green glitter. It can be worn on its own or layered for a mesmerizing effect. It is definitely a 13-year-old nail polish. And the formula is fine. It's not as, I definitely feel like all of the formulas on all of these polishes have slipped a little bit because they're very old. They have glitters and flakies and things in them that seem to affect how a polish lasts, like long term. I feel like the creams that I have that are very old just hold up better than any polish, mainstream or indie, that has a glitter, a shimmer, a flaky, any sort of extra, I guess, texture that isn't just a cream formula. That being said, it's not by any means a bad formula. I think it's just a little bit old at this point, and the shimmers have maybe affected the formula. So I did 3 coats of this. I did feel like this kind of bunched up on the ends of my nails a little bit. Again, this isn't like a real review because you can't buy them anymore. It's just how they're performing at this stage in their life. But I do also think that this is a fantastic layering polish. Any of these that I'm gonna layer, I just layered them over black because it was just too, you can layer them over anything. They'll look really great. I think this will look, it would obviously look really great layered over a dark green or a light green. I mean, you can layer it over whatever, it will look great. So I did do 3 coats of this to build it up, and it actually does look pretty similar to the picture like of the swatch that was posted in 2011. It's still a beautiful polish, and at this time I feel like this was a really wowing polish, and now you young whippersnappers don't understand how easy it is to get so many different whatever of nail polish. This was not a thing 10 years ago. That's why indies have sort of taken off, because they were doing these new fun things that mainstream brands weren't, and it really still aren't for the most part. There's a few fun polishes in a mainstream collection every so often, but for the most part they stick to the creams and the shimmers, and that's fine. That's fine, I get that. These types of glitters that were really, and they just seemed so mesmerizing. They seemed hypnotizing. They seemed new and different and exciting, and I think that was a huge draw for cult nails. So I did 3 coats of this on its own, and then 1 coat over black, and I just did one finger because I knew I was going to be swatching multiple other colors over black, so we just did them all at once, and you get to see 1 finger of Hypnotize Me over black. The next polish that I swatched is called I Got Distracted, and this is described as a very cool toned, very dark glitter with a glitter finish. I found another blog post that was posted in 2012 that posts I Got Distracted, so sometime around that time. But this is a black jelly with small hollow glitter and medium green glitter. As this has a dark base, is covered in 2 coats. The formula is probably the best on this one because it has more of a cream base. But I love this polish. I love black and green together. I just love green in general. You know, one of my favorite cult nails polishes, and I still love it. So 2 coats of cult nails. I Got Distracted. The next polish is called Limelight, and I believe this is one of the last polishes that they released before they closed. And this is a clear base and is packed full of gold, fuchsia, and blue glitters. This was always needing 3 coats as it's a clear jelly base with micro glitters. So 3 coats of this and then 1 coat over black. It looks so much better like in person than it does in a picture. I hope the video can kind of capture how really spectacular this polish is, but it's just really fun. I love that the glitters are all the same size, and there's the gold and the pink and the blue are just a really beautiful combination. So 3 coats of Limelight. The next polish is called Seduction, and this is posted on the Temptalia website in October of 2012. So again, one of the older cult nails polishes. This is described as a sheer purple red jelly top coat polish loaded with red and blue multi-chromatic flakies. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like these types of flakies were very new at this time. Maybe I'm completely wrong and just not remembering that correctly, but I feel like these types of flakies were not something we saw very often, and they caused mayhem. This, of course, being a sheer jelly polish, needs 3 coats for full opacity, and then of course it looks fantastic layered over black. I love to layer these types of flaky jellies over like a royal blue polish. Ugh, so pretty. But you're gonna see 3 coats on its own and then 1 coat over black of Seduction. Next, we have a polish called Toxic Seaweed. This was posted on the Kelly Gonzo blog in 2012. This is a sea green jelly with absolutely tons of glitter, silver, almost micro glitter, and orangey gold flakes. The orangey flakes in this teal base are really what kind of, I think, makes this polish stand out, or made this polish stand out so much, because that contrast is just so beautiful. This is also another 3-coater at this point. I don't remember if it was 3 coats when I first got it, probably because it is a jelly base. When I wear this, I will probably layer this over a similar base color just so I don't have to do 3 coats of the polish, because as I mentioned, the formulas aren't, I don't necessarily think the formulas are bad, but now I think that we've all come to maybe embrace a slightly thicker formula, and that certainly wasn't the case in 2011, 2012. Like, I feel like polishes were a little thinner, and maybe I'm remembering all of that incorrectly, but 3 coats isn't a huge deal for me. It's not a deal breaker, but I just would like to get to this color before 3 coats with this formula. So 3 coats of Toxic Seaweed. And I didn't layer this one over anything because I didn't. And then lastly, we have, in my opinion, the most famous cult nails polish, and this is called Unicorn Puke. This polish set off a frenzy. This is a purple blue based multicolored flaky. They had a pre-sale of this of 250 bottles. My bottle is actually one of those from the pre-sale. What year was this? This blog post by Polish Galore was posted in 2011. And my bottle is number 80 of, well, does it say, I think it's a 275. Oh, mine says it's 80 of 275. Color was renamed Clairvoyant. Like, I think people were upset by the Puke name, which cracks me up. But there was a initially a pre-sale for this. And this polish is one of those that made me understand the hype behind like Max Factor Fantasy Fire and what was the other? Clarins. Obviously a different ingredient, but you know, that's causing the mayhem. There's flakies here versus that shimmer, but I kind of understood. And when I used to make nail polish jewelry, this is one of my favorite nail polishes to use to make those pieces because it looks so spectacular under the glass cabochon, and it catches the light so spectacularly. And this is actually what I'm wearing on my nails today. I did 3 coats of this. I didn't layer it over anything. And, you know, for almost all of these, there is a pretty good fill line. A lot of them were used to make nail polish jewelry. And I'm not trying to finish them. I'm also not saving them at this point. There comes a time in your life when you just think, why am I saving this? Just use it. Just freaking use it, Amanda. It's nail polish. Can't take it with you when you go. You might as well use it up. So I'm definitely not like trying to actively pan these, but I'm not like hoarding them in my drawer anymore. They're probably going to stay on this rack back here so I can pull them out and use them a little more frequently than I have been. So that's 3 coats of Unicorn Puke and then 1 coat over black. And again, this one looks great over blues, purples. It looks great over a lot of colors, but I think blue is probably my favorite. So do you guys remember Cult Nails? How do you feel about the brand? What is your favorite? I know there was another one that was a red, I think it was called Bitten. It was sort of a beautiful raspberry red and it had orange green flakies in it. I think people really loved that polish. They had some great creams. And I wish I could find the blog post where they posted that they're closing, and because I can't remember the reason why, but I feel confident that it was not a business reason and it was just, I've kind of lost the passion for this, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. If you remember and you know, let me know. If you have any cult nails, I would love to know what polishes you still own from the brand. Are you hoarding them? I feel like that's easy to do for brands that are no more, but we should probably use them, you know? It's just nail polish. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna, you know, swatch through some of my older polishes at this point. I have 2 drawers of indies that are no more, and I need to kind of swatch through and remember them a little bit. So if you guys have any favorite indies of days gone by, I would love to hear about them. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you in my next video.